Mike Gallagher, live from our Wall Street studios. Coming up at 10 a.m. on AM 970. The Answer.
Joe Piscopo on the radio. Happy Friday. Hey, it's Friday, and we'll get through this. We're going to get through it all, and we're working through it. And I love that you're with us. Tom Fitton is a fine patriot and president of Judicial Watch. And now they are petitioning the Department of Justice to appoint a special counsel to investigate the Biden family. It's about time. Tom, welcome back to the show there, President Fitton. And we appreciate you joining us this morning.
Hey, good to be with you again, Joe. We need some rule of law over at the Justice Department these days.
Yeah, it's so true. Thank you for doing that, because all of us, I can't believe that during the inauguration, let me start here if I may, Tom, is when I'm watching the inauguration and I go, oh my gosh, it was so weird. But that aside, Hunter Biden is up there with his dad and Hunter Biden's with everybody else. And it looks like there's corruption right there. Now, if Donald Trump had his kids up there, oh my God, the press would have been all over that about the Trump children. We're going to investigate this, investigate that. What is going on with Hunter, and why won't the press? Let me thank you for being the only person brave enough to start this. Tell us about this petition that you're doing.
Well, Hunter Biden's under FBI criminal investigation. So let's be clear. It's not just about having his family up there. Obviously his son's going to be up there. But as you point out, the fact that he's under FBI investigation typically would have garnered more interest from the media, even aside from the pomp and circumstance of the inauguration and the coverage there. But, now we have the president of the United States, whose son is under investigation by the agencies he oversees. Now, under the Justice Department regulations, they have a conflict and they have to appoint a special counsel. It should have been done, frankly, under the Trump administration. It wasn't, because there were conflicts for other reasons, because he was Trump's main political opponent. But now that Biden is running the DOJ effectively, there has to be a special counsel. So this petition basically states the obvious: follow your own regulations, follow the law here, and uphold the appearance that justice is going to be fairly administered by the Justice Department. I'm not naive about the Justice Department and Joe Biden and whether they're going to seriously investigate everything they need to be investigating. But in the least, they need a special counsel to do the basic work here. And the petition's already garnered. It's well over 75,000 names now, Jim.
Wow. Can we sign it, Tom? Is it online somewhere?
Yeah, it's at change.org. Of course, I don't have the exact, but look it up on our website or on our Twitter or whatever. You'll find it.
Judicial Watch. And tell me how many Twitter followers were lopped off from your account, Tom Fitton?
Oh, right now it's about 165,000.
Shit, that's unbelievable.
Judicial Watch's account's 200,000. I'm still locked out, Joe. I'm still locked out. 2 weeks.
You're locked out. You're locked out of. Oh my goodness gracious!
Oh yeah.
How do they get away? Now, this is supposed to be. If this doesn't call for deregulation of social media, me too. I'm nowhere in the league that you are, Tom. But I value every follower that I have, and they took 5,000 just like that, without even telling us why they're doing it. You told me earlier when we chatted. Is it catchphrases that they see and that causes the lockout, Tom?
I suspect so. I mean, I tweeted hydroxychloroquine is a safe drug, something I tweeted repeatedly, which is entirely accurate.
I love it.
And Twitter had already examined the exact language in an earlier tweet I had made and said it wasn't in violation of its rules. So not only did they tell me to take it down out of the blue, but then they said I'm locked out even if I take it down for 7 days. So I appealed it, and they haven't gotten back to me for 2 weeks. That's Twitter. And so obviously I'm being targeted, and our supporters are being targeted because of their political views, not for any legitimate business purpose. And that's business fraud.
Yeah, Judicial Watch. You got to Google Judicial Watch and support Tom Fitton, because you do things that I watch. I watch you with Lou Dobbs, or I watch on TV, and I'm going like, yeah, Tom, go for it, because you're the only guy. I can't, in the name of God, understand how they went after President Trump for everything, and they won't even look at and they block Tom Fitton. They blocked the story about the Biden family, and that's what they silenced the Hunter Biden story, which may have gotten Joe Biden the presidency. And that I don't know how. Yes, please.
And they're still silencing it. Did you watch the first press conference? I'm sure, at the White House the other day. I
Yeah.
didn't hear any questions about Hunter Biden.
Oh, my gosh. It's so painful to watch. Hey, Tom, let me just ask you about this representative, this new Congresswoman, Marjorie Taylor Greene, drafting an article of impeachment against President Biden only a couple days into the presidency. I love the courage of this gal. That'll probably go nowhere, though. What do you think?
Well, in the majority House, but I encourage your listeners to. I look at her articles of impeachment. They're much more credible than the current impeachment sham targeting President Trump, and they're based on the substantial allegations of criminal activity by Biden and his family as it relates to their money grubbing with foreign governments and entities.
This is so interesting. And do you think that indeed that this impeachment fiasco against Donald Trump, I heard it's losing steam. Do you think they'll end up doing the impeachment? At least, can they drop it at this point, or do they have to run it through the Senate, Tom?
Well, I think it will run through the Senate. The question is the Senate going to further abuse the president, or President Trump, the former President Trump now, to be correct? And I don't know, like any other court proceeding, and this is kind of a quasi-court proceeding, even though it is in the Senate, they can summarily dismiss it. They could say, look, we hear thank you for your articles, but no thanks. And we're going to move to summarily dismiss it, and that would be the end of it. Or they can have a trial, and, do they want to litigate? Do they want to litigate the 2020 election again in the Senate?
I can't get a handle where they're going. I can't get a handle on Mitch McConnell, what this guy is doing, how he's running the Senate, and how he's actually just siding with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi is nothing short of nauseating. Hey, Tom Fitton, before we let you go, Chris Wray is staying there. Doesn't that tell you everything we need to know about the Biden administration? Head of the FBI.
I think it tells us everything we need to know about Chris Wray.
Yeah. And what he's done and what he hasn't done, correct?
And what he hasn't done, that's the sad thing. We do all this litigation, and we can't. We're always fighting the government, and we fought the government under the Trump administration, and we'll be fighting the government under the Biden administration because the government doesn't really change as much as people think from administration to administration. And by changing, I mean it's run by people who have contempt for the rule of law, who have contempt for the consent of the governed, and think they don't even answer to anyone, let alone the President of the United States. So Joe Biden, Director Wray is now Joe Biden's problem.
Yeah, well, Tom Fitton is president of Judicial Watch. If you're listening, and they're blocking Tom out of Twitter, but please go to Judicial Watch. Just Google Judicial Watch, and then check out
judicialwatch.org. Yeah.
Yep, that's .org, and then sign this petition. They're going to the DOJ to appoint a special counsel to investigate the Biden family. It's all we ask. We just ask when what we think is voter fraud, Tom Fitton. We just ask for just run it down for us. That's all we ask as patriots. Tom, keep the fight, man. And listen, you always got the airwaves if you ever need them, my friend. And thanks for sticking up for those of us who actually believe in this country, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. We're honored to be able to do it because we can do it, and it's a great country that we're able to still speak out and
Amen.
Let that right get slip away.
Amen, Tom Fitton. God bless you, man, and Godspeed. Thank you. Tom Fitton right there. Judicialwatch.org, please. Judicialwatch.org.